The cryptocurrency known as XRP, which is now one of the most controversial and strong cryptocurrencies in existence, is at the center of a major event that is going place in the world of finance at this very moment. The Congress of the United States has just passed legislation that has the ability to restructure the core of the American payment system. This is a move that has never been seen before and has never been seen before. In the event that the information provided is correct, this piece of legislation will effectively transform XRP into a legal tender for specific types of digital payments. In the recently revealed Digital Dollar Standard Act, there is language that makes reference to interoperable ledgers, cross-border settlement efficiency, and digital asset integration. This language can be found buried deep inside the dense pages of the Act, specifically on page 237. It is possible that at first glance, these terms appear to be typical technical terminology, yet any knowledgeable observer of Ripple's ecosystem is aware of the precise meaning of what is being suggested here. The Federal Reserve is in charge of the FedNow system, and there is a lot of pressure being put on XRP to become a basic settlement mechanism for the FedNow system. A little teaser is provided here for your perusal. XRP will undergo all of the changes that are outlined in this document, which will bring about all of the changes. Throughout the years, the so-called XRP army has been lobbying and educating on the matter, as well as fighting for legislative clarification and broad use of the cryptocurrency. It is the confluence of a number of seemingly trivial achievements, such as victory in the courts, agreements with financial institutions, and compliance advancements with blockchain technology, that this legislative feat has been achieved. The United States of America will be able to modernize its payments infrastructure, reduce its reliance on techniques that are both sluggish and expensive, and better prepare itself for a future in which real-time transactions will be interoperable if the Digital Dollar Standard Act is approved and put into effect. A clear reference to the XRP ledger is also hidden inside the legalese, which is another point of interest. The infrastructure that Ripple already has in place is entirely compatible with languages such as permissioned and interoperable distributed ledger technology, which is able to settle transactions across international borders. Both of these technologies are able to facilitate the settlement of transactions. According to congressional insiders, lobbying efforts by fintech professionals, banking advocates, and yes, those community-led initiatives on the part of the XRP army, had a big impact in the development of these regulations. These insiders admitted that this was not just a casual inclusion in the legislation. Witnessing the manner in which these numerous groups came together to exercise such a large effect on the legal system is a phenomenon that is really interesting to see. As far as the law is concerned, it practically mandates that the Federal Reserve explore and implement blockchain-based solutions for national payment rails. Such a criteria must be met. It is clearly essential that an evaluation be conducted on technologies that are capable of instant settlement and low-cost transfers across international borders. It should not come as a surprise that Ripple is a suitable fit for this need, given that it has spent more than a decade establishing partnerships with central banks and showcasing its on-demand liquidity infrastructure since its inception. In other words, this is not a matter of speculation, rather, it is a logical conclusion that is established on years of use, compliance, and technological preparedness. Isn't it incredible that you would agree with me? There is a significant amount of significance attached to the connection with FedNow at this moment. A substantial contribution to the transformation of the financial sector is made by it. This is accomplished by linking traditional systems with cutting-edge blockchain technology. Over the course of the future, it is anticipated that this connection will bring about a transformation in the manner in which we comprehend and carry out transactions. Despite the fact that FedNow, the domestic real-time payment system that is run by the Federal Reserve, was designed with the goal of assisting in the modernization of money transfers within the United States, it has always been limited to domestic rails. Through the implementation of this new regulation, the Federal Reserve is being put under pressure to extend its infrastructure in order to make it possible for blockchain-based settlement layers to be implemented. In this scenario, these layers would have direct interactions with the XRP ledger. The conclusion that can be drawn from this is that XRP has the potential to become the liquidity backbone of the financial system in the United States. This would make it possible to settle domestic and international transactions in a manner that is almost immediate. For the very first time, a cryptocurrency is being incorporated directly into the framework of national policy, rather than operating on the fringe of the system. This is a significant development. The next thing that we should take into consideration is the role that the XRP army plays. Despite the fact that critics have, for a considerable amount of time, ignored community advocacy as being of little value, this statute demonstrates the concrete power that may be accomplished by organized and informed activism. Online campaigns, activities involving the drafting of letters to politicians, and coordinated educational initiatives were all beneficial sources of information that were utilized for the aim of raising awareness about the practical benefits that may be gained from Ripple's revolutionary technology. It is important for you to be aware that Congress does not make decisions in a vacuum. Rather, they are constantly responding to the opinions of constituents, stakeholders, and professional experts in the business. Policymakers have come to the awareness that XRP is not merely a speculative token, rather, it is a functional digital asset that is capable of modernizing payments on a global scale. This realization is a result of the steadfast devotion of the XRP army to compliance, financial literacy, and utilization in the real world. It would be an understatement to say that the repercussions are astounding when viewed from the perspective of the overall cost. In the event that the Federal Reserve takes the decision to officially adopt XRP as its settlement asset, the demand curve will be subject to a considerable shift. The amount of XRP that is currently in circulation is limited, and a sizable portion of it is either held in escrow or by long-term holders. Furthermore, the quantity of XRP that is currently in circulation is constrained. The incorporation of XRP into a payment system that is supported by the government would result in the generation of institutional demand on a scale that has never been seen before. This would effectively lock up vast quantities of XRP and accelerate price discovery into higher ranges. Due to the fact that liquidity requirements are increasing and usage is spreading, it is possible that this may quickly push XRP into the area of triple digits, or even hundreds of dollars per token. As far as analysts are concerned, we are not just talking about a few dollars of potential profit. This is without a doubt a season that is full with excitement. Furthermore, the introduction of XRP into FedNow would make it the first cryptocurrency to have indirect endorsement from the government of the United States of America. This would be a significant achievement. Not only will those who possess XRP be affected by this, but the cryptocurrency market as a whole will also be significantly impacted as a result of this decision. A key certification of the technology for mainstream financial institutions is provided by an official congressional permission, which has been one of the primary impediments to the use of the technology by educational institutions. In the past, one of the most significant obstacles to institutional adoption has been the presence of regulatory ambiguity. It would be impossible for financial institutions, fintech companies, and payment processors to avoid participating, which would result in a positive feedback loop that would promote acceptability, liquidity, and price appreciation. This would be a win-win situation. This win is a statement about something else in addition to the price, therefore it is not always about the price. This illustrates that blockchain technology has the potential to become an integral component of the nation's infrastructure if it is utilized in a responsible manner and if it is in accordance with the regulatory frameworks that are in place. The XRP Army has shown that community-driven advocacy, when joined with technical expertise and regulatory foresight, has the capacity to positively influence decisions made at the highest levels of government. This has been proved by the XRP Army. Not only is this a significant occasion in the world of cryptocurrencies, but it is also a momentous occasion in the path of the development of financial technology on a global scale. In all candor, the call to action is fairly urgent for those individuals who own items that are typical of daily life. Be sure that you have your XRP and that you are participating in negotiations regarding governance if you want to ensure that you will truly benefit from this paradigm change. Now is the time to make sure that you have your XRP and that you are participating in these negotiations. It is also essential to keep in mind